Time for your punishment.
Yes, yes. Time for a swim?
If that's what you want.
Say night-night. All right, gotta cool off. Let's go. Best wishes.
I'm listening. There.
Very well. Yes. Let's go. Of course.
Orders for me? If that's what you want.
Time for a swim? Yes. Best wishes. Gotta cool off.
Orders for me?
All right. Yes. Best wishes.
I'm listening.
Yes. Let's go. Very well. Shall we drown them? Gotta cool off. Of course. Best wishes. Yes.
Orders for me?
All right.
If that's what you want.
Time for a swim? bury you in the sand. Best wishes. Gotta cool off. Yes.
Hey everyone, GuardianE here with a new Camilla Emblem clear video in Fire Emblem Heroes. Today we'll be tackling Legendary Seliph, Scion of Light, in his very own Legendary Hero battle on Abyssal difficulty. So this was a fun one, actually. A bit more on the casual side because of the map arrangement, but still, I found it to be quite enjoyable overall. Lots of healthy reinforcements, fun loaded kits on their side of things, but you have this buffer of a castle right here. It makes everything much more manageable. Even the forested areas to the sides allow you to manipulate the cavalry unit's pathing to your advantage. But despite this, even with these advantages, there are certain things to watch out for, which we'll be going over in more detail. But first, let's take a look at Seliph, Legendary Seliph here. So it finally has a legendary version in the game. A lot of people have been waiting for it. Comes with his Virtuous Turfing, which allows an in-combat debuff as long as he has less than 100% HP or he's enemy phasing. Another cool effect is that he gains 7 HP every single time he attacks. Not out of combat, not after combat, not before combat, as he's actually attacking. So it's actually pretty cool. Has Ignis at a 4-turn cooldown. He has considerable defense. That 49 defense is, Abyssal level stats are no joke. But it's at a 4-turn cooldown, so it's not as though he's threatening you with a 0-turn Ignis or anything like that. Distant counter, naturally, so he can counter you from any range. Joint Hone Defense, of course, to boost his defenses. Has Mirror Stance too, so if he is enemy phasing, he gets more attack and more res, something that he wants as a distant counter enemy phase unit. And then finally we have Holy War's End. So Holy War's End is, as long as Seliph has above or equal to 50% health and he's enemy phasing, so as long as those two conditions are met, he makes a guaranteed follow-up attack before the foe can counterattack. So not only is this built-in desperation on enemy phase, so it's sort of a reverse desperation or an enemy phase desperation, however you want to think about it in that context, but it's also guaranteed. So it's very different from desperation as a whole because it guarantees the follow-up itself. So what that ultimately means is that as long as the condition is met, Seliph will tank the attack on enemy phase, and then he'll counterattack basically twice in a row and gain 14 HP in the process, which will, of course, boost his HP back from the initial hit that he took, so that if the enemy doubles him, he can just tank that as well. So it's a pretty potent effect. It does add to his durability, his sustainability as a whole, especially combined with Virtuous Turfing. But there are certainly counters and ways around this, right? Null follow-up is one way to just nullify his ability to automatically follow-up attack. He has pretty abysmal speed, so that speed check is not going to be one very often. Hardy Bearing, for example, will just neutralize his enemy phase desperation effect. Having a Fire Sweep ability, Fire Sweep Archers, Fire Sweep anything, will allow you to just neutralize his ability to counter as a whole. Frankly, just using your own desperation on offense, as long as you meet that HP threshold, is going to be effective as well, because that's going to allow you to attack twice in a row before Seliph can even counterattack. So yeah, a lot of different counters available against him on this particular map, so he is not really a huge threat as far as everything else is concerned. As far as the other units arrangement, you have a Green Mage over here with Grondblade, paired with Bonus Doubler, which is always a big threat, because that just further basically doubles the Grondblade effect, more or less, if you can think about it that way. Comes with even Speed Wave, so he does have the ability to kind of self-proc or self-boost his Grondblade, and of course has Attack Speed Link 3, which means that if any positioning assist is used, he gets +6 to both of his offensive stats, which would in turn also be enhanced by the Grondblade, which would in turn also be enhanced by the Bonus Doubler. So lots of damage there on the table. Swordfighter over here has some good sustain, has Close Call 3, which is one of the more recent damage reduction skills that we've seen that infantry can utilize that are very potent. The Cleric over here has Attack Speed Push 3, oddly enough not Attack Speed Push 4, I'm not sure why, but that does really cripple their ability to do a ton of damage if they don't have 100% HP. They have Wrath, or Wrathful Staff, they don't have the Dazzling Staff, so they can be counterattacked as well. Has Dull Range. You got the Blue Cavalier over here that has Pulse Smoke 3, so if the Blue Cavalier does attack into the range of your units, they are going to get hit with this Pulse effect. And then you have the Green Thief over here that has Lull Speed Defense 3, which is always a joy to work against. You have Rogue Dagger, and then Death Blow 3. So lots of interesting newer skill combinations, interesting layouts, interesting kits. So definitely a potent enemy force, and like I said, you do get waves and waves of reinforcements, and lots of them. Positioning and respawn rate, as well as the respawn positioning, seems pretty fair overall, but we do get plenty of them. So you do get a sense of kind of fending off basically wave after wave of an army as they're making their approach, which is pretty cool. So now let's take a look at the Camillas themselves. We actually didn't make any adjustments to their kits, their default kits that I go in blind on these types of maps. We have Vanilla Camilla at +10 with a speed asset, has her Camilla's axe with special refine, reposition, Draconic Aura, distant counter for the A slot, renewal for the B slot, hone flyers for the C slot, and chill attack 3 for the seal. Next we've got New Year's Camilla merged at +10 with a speed asset, has a Gale Force build with Slaying Edge plus, Death Blow, Desperation, and Heavy Blade for the seal, has reposition for the assist, and Goad Flyers for the C slot. We've got Summer Camilla merged at +10 with an attack asset, has Blarblade, Fury Desperation build, reposition, Draconic Aura for the special, Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Flyer Formation 3 for the seal. And then finally we have Light of Nor Camilla, Brave Camilla merged at +10 with an attack asset and has 5 Dragon Flowers, has her Native Sangreather, Restore Plus, Miracle for the special, Attack Speed Push 4, Wrathful Staff 3 for the B slot, Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Renewal 3 for the seal. So the enemy is going to move forward and make their approach regardless of whether or not you bait them or attack into them on turn 1. So if you want, you can use this opportunity on turn 1 just to bolster yourself up, have the necessary buffs, go for positioning, things like that. But the reality is that with Abyssal maps and with reinforcements that come unprovoked, meaning that they'll come regardless of whether or not you kill an opponent or any specific enemy, they're not the trigger for the reinforcement. You want to take out as many units as you can because it's very, very easy to get overwhelmed. So because of that, there's basically 2 entry points, more or less. You can plant somebody on this side to fend off both the Blue Cavalier and the Green Thief, so any tanky green would be pretty sufficient to do that role. Or alternatively, you have this point over here as well, where you can tank the Green Mage and the Blue Cavalier. Similarly, you can have a tanky green unit there, you could have an Omni tank, something like that. You can tank both of them. For our purposes, we're actually going to be engaging on the left-hand side. That gives us favorable positioning for the following turn, and we can actually take out both the Green Thief and the Blue Cavalier on a single turn. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll use Vanilla Camilla to actually achieve that. We'll put her in the danger zone here, and we're going to fully support her. She's going to get all of the Goad Flyers buffs from all of the other Camillas, and we're also going to have New Year's Camilla behind Vanilla Camilla so that she can very easily be launched and repositioned offensively forward for the following turn to take out more of the forces as they appear. I will also note that Summer Camilla has a bond support with Vanilla Camilla, and that's actually important here. Those 2 stat points actually makes a difference as far as tanking both of these attacks. But as you can see, Vanilla Camilla does tank them just fine, does double on enemy phase, and does take them both out while surviving, which is all that matters. So here we are on the following turn. The Sword Cavalier over here, always dangerous when they have lunge or something like this, which can basically, even if they attack into you, as long as they don't die, they can pull you into the range of the other threats on the team. So you just want to be wary of that. Has Heavy Blade, has Gale Force as well, so they technically could refresh on you and attack another unit, and with that extended range, that can be deadly. You have the Sword Fighter over here that also has Repel 3. So we had a Sword Fighter with Close Call, now we have a Sword Fighter with Repel. Again, just showing off those damage reduction or B-slot skills that infantry has, those toys that they have, to great effect. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take out the Cleric, and then just position ourselves safely for the following turn. So in order to achieve that, we're going to move Vanilla Camilla off to the side and use Summer Camilla to reposition New Year's Camilla forward. She will double the Cleric, and the Heavy Blade will go off, which will allow the Gale Force to proc. And then I can just kind of shift her back down here. So she's getting the Hone Flyers buff from Vanilla Camilla, and then similarly with Brave Camilla, we'll use her to actually heal up Vanilla Camilla and get Hone Flyers for the following turn. All important things. Enemy makes their approach, and then we're going to get another set of reinforcements. Right up on us is this Bow Fighter over here with Brave Bow, Ignis, and it's interesting because it's a Brave Bow unit, but also defensively oriented, like has close defense, has brazen attack defense. I think it's really more suited that they're offensive based with the Brave Bow, but trying to make it more difficult for you to basically melee them in the face to kill them. And then you've got the Troubadour over here that spawned, has Absorb Plus with Dazzling, but no Wrathful, so don't really have to worry too much about the amount of damage that they bring to the table. And so the Lance Flyer over here has Fire Sweep Lance naturally, which can be pretty annoying to deal with, especially for one with such, great offensive stats. But you also have Iote's Shield so that she can tank archers as needed. And more importantly, she has Aerobatics plus Ground Orders. So this is actually a pretty deadly combination on this map, because it provides that buff to all of the surrounding allies where the enemy is going to clump up together. And they're going to clump up a lot. There are only two paths to get to you, either on the left or the right-hand side. Lots of reinforcements means tons of enemies around, which means there's going to be a lot of units that get the Ground Orders buff. And because they're clumping together like that, and there's so many reinforcements, it's going to be very easy for them to use the Ground Orders to great effect. There's always going to be an ally within two spaces, basically, when you have so many allies, so many enemies for you on the map at one time. But basically, we just want to take it slow, clear out as much as we can on this turn, and these two are the major threats, the Sword Cavalier and the Bow Fighter. We'll use Summer Camilla just to take out the Sword Cavalier, easy peasy. And like I said, the Bow Fighter has a lot of tankiness to them, but even so, we are able to double the Bow Fighter on player phase with New Year's Camilla, which will also proc Heavy Blade, also proc Gale Force, and now this allows her to basically attack into them again to finish them off. So, again, archers are going to be the big threat here. I don't have Iote's Shield, and I didn't bring Spring Camilla this time around, so we want to take them out as quickly as we can. So the main reason I'm doing that is to be primed for the following turn, to be in the best position to take out certain units, but also it's AI manipulation. It's just to make sure that you're playing a little bit of do-si-do around this this castle here, and doing different combinations of movements and positioning your units in certain ways will force the AI into different ways and restrict them into different patterns. So this is one such way. It'll force a particular pattern that I'm looking for. So here they're going to move forward. There we go, that's how we want it. And again, the map's all about positioning. You have the leisure of this advantageous position on the lower side, and the enemy will funnel through on either side, the left and the right. The phase AI certainly isn't the most profound, which means they can get confused on which way to go, especially when they get bunched up with so many reinforcements. So because of that, again, the positioning is all what's most important here. So as far as reinforcements are concerned, this Bow Cavalier did appear with double renewal, oddly enough, as well as Guard Blow Plus, so a little bit more of a defensive Bow Cavalier. You have this Cleric that appeared that has Panic Plus, so that's a little annoying. But again, they don't have both Dazzling and Wrathful, they only have Dazzling, so they're not going to be doing damage. They're not a damage threat, they're just a debuff threat. And then they have Mystic Boost 3. And then you have an Infantry Green Mage over here with Rex Caliber, no frills there, but they are very, very offensively powerful, have good stats, has Chill Attack, has Pulse Smoke, we're seeing that again here, has Miracle, as well as Death Blow plus Mirror Strike. So we're going to take this opportunity to bolster our little corner fortress over here and just take out the threats that are immediately present. And we're going to do that by taking out the Green Mage with Brave Camilla here. And then further, we're also going to take out the Sword Fighter with Summer Camilla. There we go, player phase, and then he goes down. And at this juncture, I'm actually going to reposition forward to put Summer Camilla over here, and then we're going to just shift New Year's Camilla back to safety. Well, relative safety. She's going to take a hit from the Troubadour, but it's not going to do much damage. And she's not going to get debuffed or anything like that. So now that we've coordinated, that little movement will actually force some of the units off to the left-hand side, for example. Most notably the Lance Flyer here, who we want to be wary about with Ground Orders, because Ground Orders is really the major threat here on this map as far as positioning, because the enemy forces are stilted for positioning because of the obstacles that we talked about. Ground Orders really kind of obviates that. So anyway, Ground Orders on this side, that's great. We're going to go ahead and just reposition back here, and we want to take out the Bow Cavalier because they are the major threat. So we'll go ahead and attack into the Bow Cavalier with Brave Camilla. That gravity effect is also going to be hitting the Lance Flyer, which is great for this turn. And then we're going to use Vanilla Camilla to finish off the Bow Cavalier. And this will put her in the range of basically all of the blues, as well as the Troubadour, which is perfectly fine. She can tank that without any issue whatsoever. Then we're going to use New Year's Camilla to just eliminate the Troubadour on this turn. Just take them out, activate the Gale Force in the process, and then we're just going to shift down and out of the range of any attacking forces. Camilla can tank this, but the Blue Mage is going to be targeting Brave Camilla, which is fine. She has Miracle at the ready. She's not going to get doubled, and she will offensively hit back and also employ that gravity, which is very useful for this turn. So we just want to finish off the blue mage here because they are a big threat, and then in the process we're going to put gravity on both Seliph as well as the Lance Flyer, which is really great. That also means that no units are adjacent to the Lance Flyer, which means ground orders isn't going to go off. So at this point we're just going to reposition Brave Camilla to safety, just to fall back a bit. We're also going to eliminate the Sword Fighter by just player phasing with Summer Camilla. And now we're actually going to go ahead and just put New Year's Camilla up here. And she is going to get hit by the Fire Sweep Lance Flyer. The Cleric over here does have Restore Plus, which nullified the gravity effect. And that's perfectly fine because New Year's Camilla can tank that. So on this turn, we want to eliminate the Lance Flyer with Summer Camilla. We're going to use a little flyer formation to get the right positioning and angle. Take her out. The other threat over here is going to be Rexcalibur, the Green Mage, so we'll reposition New Year's Camilla over here to take the Green Mage out. She'll activate Gale Force in the process, which will allow her to fall back into the appropriate position for the following turn. And at this point, all we have is this Cleric, and we have Seliph. So Seliph is going to overextend on this turn, and like I said, you can always use Fire Sweep weapons to nullify his abilities and counter him, essentially. So we're going to use Brave Camilla to do that. She's going to double him. He's not going to go down, but that will chip him down just enough so that Summer Camilla will not have an issue with Desperation attacking him and taking him out on player phase. So Seliph goes down, and now all that's left, all by their lonesome, is this Cleric, who we will be taking out on player phase with Vanilla Camilla by just offensively repositioning. And there we go. So that's the strategy that I employed with Camilla Emblem to clear Seliph, Scion of Light, on his Legendary Hero battle on Abyssal difficulty. Let me know in the comments below what strategies and teams you ended up using to clear this Abyssal level challenge. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really, really do appreciate it. We're hoping that you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.